And we're live. Welcome everybody here to the Lakers Lounge. I'm Anthony Irwin of Lakers Daily, joined on this fine Thursday evening by
Yes.
Aaron. Yeah, it is evening. Well, I guess it's like night, Thursday night your time. It is definitely Thursday night my time. You can see the bags. I am tired, old, withered.
It's been a thing. It's been a
Not
day.
gray. I'm not
No,
quite gray, but
that's me.
yeah.
I'm also older
Aaron, how
than
you?
you, though.
Huh?
I said I'm also older than you, so
Oh, I
that
thought you
I
said you
guess it's
hustle more than me. I was like, wow,
no. I
judgy
don't think
much.
that's true
Okay.
at all. No, I don't think that's true at all. But I am more gray than you.
You are. You're a little older though, but how are you holding up, man? It's been a little while. We didn't do a
It
show
has
last
been.
week.
Yeah, no
I
show
was in
last week.
Vegas and there was zero connection in that archaic hotel, the South Point Hotel in Las
South Point.
Vegas.
Only the
Yeah.
finest for the Irwin
It's my
family.
cheap ass friends. It's
Yeah.
just, I'm not judging, but I'm judging all of you, whoever is listening. But yeah, how you been, dude? Like it's been a while.
I've been well, thank you. It's been a long road trip for the Lakers. I've been enjoying. I did not go on this trip, so I've been enjoying watching the Lakers dominate inferior opponents and just kind of catching up on basketball right now. As you and I are recording, I'm watching Denver and the Clips kind of go back and forth, and the Kings lost earlier to the Knicks, tonight to the Knicks, or earlier Thursday night if you listen to this tomorrow. So yeah, just I've been good, just watching hoops and waiting for the Lakers to get back, get back home, which is coming up shortly.
I love road trips because it means the Lakers play at a nice, decent hour, right? Especially when they play on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Those games start at like 6:30 my time, and it's just glorious.
So
It
you
is.
prefer the Lakers in, say, Miami or Brooklyn as opposed to Portland or Phoenix or Golden State or Sacramento?
I think the Lakers prefer to be in Miami versus those other places.
Miami is a fun place, as is Toronto, by the way.
Especially when you're a professional basketball player.
By the way. Toronto's not bad.
You're a rich, handsome, in shape millionaire.
That is nice of you to
Miami.
say. Thank you. Oh, thought you weren't talking about me. It's like, this is the best introduction.
Wow, you're just out here
introduction yet.
After all these years making fun of my foyer, you're out here saying you're rich. You said it, not me.
I mean, not yet. I plan on winning. I don't know if it's Mega Millions or Powerball, whichever one is over 1 billion right now. I plan on winning it. So yes, I'll buy you another foyer if I do win it. You'll have multiple foyer.
Double foyer.
Yeah, multiple foyer. And that 85-inch TV you have in your foyer, that'll be nothing.
I'd prefer you buy me another 85-inch TV versus the foyer. You can't do anything with 2 foyers.
We'll figure it out.
Today on the show, we are going to be talking about some of the results around the league. The Lakers finally got some help from the New York Knicks as they come back and beat the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
That helps the Lakers. The Lakers have been helping the Lakers, like you talked about. The Lakers have been playing pretty good basketball since the beginning of February, and since Darvin Ham started playing their best players. Crazy that I don't know if correlation and causation is a thing here. I don't know.
What a wild concept.
But we've seen an immediate impact on not just the way that the Lakers are playing, but also the psyche in the locker room. I'll talk a little bit about that, seeing as my piece, my next piece for Lakers Daily is supposed to be dropping, I believe, tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. We got some insight in there. Are we going to share a little insight?
Well, little crumbs here and there.
All right. Okay.
My contract with them stipulates
little Hansel and Gretel. I like it.
Yeah. My contract stipulates that I have to, what I report in there has to be exclusive to them first, and then I can talk about it here. So I'm not
we'll talk about it.
I'm not going to be messing with my money, but I will be giving up a couple details, some hints.
Don't ever do that.
If you will.
Yeah, don't ever do
teasing.
That. Yeah, we can do the Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs, but don't never mess with the money.
Yeah, I'll do the Hustle and Gretel for sure, and then we're gonna set some.
Wait. Was that Hustle and Gretel?
Yeah.
How about Hansel and Gretel?
No, I know.
You're doing Hustle and Flow. You're mixing Hustle and Flow with Hansel and Gretel.
It's my favorite. My favorite bedtime stories, man.
Whoop that trick, Hansel or Gretel or one of them.
That's what they were saying when they were baking her in her own house.
Yeah,
What?
that's
Cook
what they
that
do.
trick. Yeah, cook
That's what the
that.
Memphis Hustle that are now the backups to the backups to the backups of the Memphis Hustle that just beat just beat the Bucks the other night. That's what they're saying. Whoop that trick, Hansel or Gretel or whichever
Yeah,
one.
exactly,
All right.
exactly. But yeah, let's start though. The Lakers do get, for those of you who are listening in the morning, looking for information on where the Lakers stand. The Lakers will have gained a half a game in this one, which is nice. They gained a half a game on the Sacramento Kings, who now sit in the 8th spot. The New Orleans Pelicans are now sitting in the 7th spot. They've been sliding. The Lakers still in the 9th spot, but they have as many wins as the Kings and one more loss than the Kings currently have. The
Yeah, the
Kings
Kings
do
now have
own the
32.
tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So that's going to make things a little complicated there. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, it's nice to get a little bit of help here. I wish that the Lakers were in a spot where they didn't need the help, right? Maybe
Sure.
had they perhaps started playing some of their better players earlier in the year, they wouldn't need all of this help. But I don't think that is worth, crying over
No,
spilled milk anymore.
that is territory we have traversed.
No, not on this show. You want
No. We want to go back over and rehash that.
This show is brought to you by the Chevrolet Traverse. But yeah, I like, looking up and seeing that the shenanigans have stopped. For a while there, it was crazy. Every good team that was playing against either the Sacramento Kings or the Phoenix Suns would all of a sudden no longer be a good team. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah, and Dallas was beating everybody. Well,
Yeah.
that's the wild thing about the West is that if you look at you look at the standings, and then if you scroll over to the right a little bit, it'll say like a streak, won 4, lost 2, or whatever it is,
or in their last 10.
And then there's
right?
the last 10, right? Is the column to the right of that. And if you look in the West, it's like the Lakers will be like 8-2 and haven't gained ground on anybody, right? Because the Warriors are 9-1 and the Pelicans are 7-3 and the King, like up and down the Western Conference. It just shows you how good the Western Conference is. Last year, there was 2 teams in the West that won 50 games. This year, it looks like there's going to be 6. The Lakers winning percentage, if you carry that out to the end of the season, that would have gotten the Lakers the 4 seed last year. So yeah, it's the curse of being in the West. The West is just so damn good that you can win a bunch of games and not make up any ground. Like, look at the Rockets have now lost. They lost to the Warriors tonight, or Thursday if you listen to this tomorrow. And they've, I think, lost 3 in a row now. But they had won, I think it was 11 games before that, and it kind of crept into the play-in mix, but kind of not really, because the Warriors were 8-2 and the Lakers were 7-3, and so it's just kind of the curse of the West.
So, all right, there's a couple comments here that I want to hit on. One, Alexis is saying hi, wherever that one is.
Hello,
Did
Alexis.
I lose it? Yeah, there's Alexis saying
Alexis
hi.
is
Aaron
good
and
people.
Anthony.
Alexis, good
Yeah.
people. Hi, Alexis.
Well, an OG listener viewer.
Yes,
Alexis.
yes, yeah.
Now the other one that I wanted to talk about here, Chris Wallace saying y'all counted us out. Top 3 records since February. No, I have been pretty consistent on this front. I feel like I have said if the Lakers played their best players, I think they're a pretty good team. It's why I lost my mind when them not playing their best players led to them being so mediocre that they made the decision that this season was beyond salvaging at the deadline. That's why I lost. I didn't handle that particularly well, whether it's on the air or in conversations behind the scenes on some of that. Sorry, Aaron, for the way that I was yelling at you at like 2 in the morning,
man.
on my back patio.
All of it is better than all of it is better than the trade machine screenshots I get from you. Like, the outlandish ones you post on Twitter are, I get the worst ones than that. Like, the ones that are so far gone that they don't even make Twitter are the ones I get. So
yeah,
no, you're good. You're good. I see. Chris is talking about the counting y'all counted us out, and like the games in November, late October, November, December, January, like they all count, right? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, the Lakers have been great. Top 3 records since February. I'm not sure that's correct, but maybe it is. But yeah, the Lakers have been there with Denver and the Celtics and the Warriors as the best records, whatever it's post All-Star break or whatever you want to say. But unfortunately, the games in December count also.
Just as much.
Yeah, as it turns out. Yeah.
But no, like I've always look, I came into the season believing in this team. I thought that they were I thought the Nuggets were in kind of a tier of their own. And then I had the Lakers in the next tier in the Western Conference.
You did. Yeah, we talked about this in preseason. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do believe in the talent on this team, and we have seen that talent show itself. Like I posted the wins and losses basically since February, because basically Rui's first game starting and remaining in that starting lineup. Technically, I think those 5 started a game together because of injury, and then they stopped starting, and then they went back to that starting 5 and have stuck with that starting 5. And since that starting 5 has been together, since early February, they have been a significantly better team. And the constant refrain that I got, I guess the most popular pushback that I got was, well, look at the schedule that the Lakers were playing in while they've been on this run. And it's like, yeah, however, they lost to the Spurs earlier this year. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets earlier this year. They lost to the Memphis Grizzlies earlier this year. Like that,
and
team,
we're in a fight with the Wizards.
Yeah,
very recently.
Jordan Poole played like his best game of the season in that game. Yeah, and the point here that I wanted to make, and in sending that, is that when you play your best players, you improve your margin for error. So that you're going to be crazy. Yeah. Shocking. But like when in these games, like in the Washington game, I think is a good example, because I thought they played with their food too much. It was clear they were at the end of a road trip. And then the garbage time players came in and played like garbage. But I think it's also important.
Just straight basura.
Oof, good Lord.
Garbage time players came in and played like garbage is a good line.
But the Genie who produces the LFR pod, right?
Yeah.
Grabbed a clip from our show, and I don't think Harrison gets enough credit for this, because he was like, "You don't have to throw the chair at Maxwell." Maxwell Lewis. You got to throw a chair, in response to the way that unit was playing, and no, like they were able to pull that game out, and they were able to be kind of comfortable throughout that game, because when you rely on your better players,
mostly comfortable.
I think they were messing around a lot.
It was like but it was like a 2-point game into the fourth quarter. So that's that's not entirely comfortable.
Yeah, well, not score-wise, but they looked very comfortable out there.
The Lakers looked in control the whole. Yes,
they looked a little too comfortable.
Yeah, you're not. You ain't never lie.
They looked like your old uncle after Thanksgiving dinner, comfortable. Like they slink back.
So then me.
You slink back.
That is the role I have. That is the role I have.
Your mouth is wide open, and you're snoring to the heavens. Is essentially how the Lakers played the second half of that game.
Yeah, my niece. And why does Uncle smell? You know what? Never mind. Get used to it. I don't know.
But all that said, though, like they were able to look that kind of comfortable because they knew that they had the talent advantage. Yes. And I think earlier this year, when they were relying more heavily on Cam and they were relying more heavily on Prince and less heavily on Rui Hachimura, there wasn't as much of a talent advantage. And so they didn't look as comfortable in that previous game against Washington. That was, you felt yourself sweating through a little bit more compared to yesterday's game. And, it's like we talked about the last time we talked, it was a couple weeks ago, and the trend has only continued. I do legitimately think this is a pretty good team. Knock on wood. Every time I believe in them, something terrible happens. But I do think talent-wise, this is a pretty good team. Austin Rivers was on ESPN, whatever show he was on, talking about this too. And he was saying basically that, this is not a team that you want to face in the first round unless you're Denver. Denver doesn't care. Although Denver
doesn't care.
I'm watching Denver right now.
No, they do
have
not look
wait,
great against the Clips. No.
well, they have 7 NBA players. Do you think they have 8?
I mean, their starting
Their
five
starting
is
5 is incredible,
right. Their starting
but
five is chef's kiss. Yeah, Christian Brown he was better last year than he's been this year. Peyton
Peyton
Watson, definitely.
Watson.
I'm not a huge Reggie Jackson fan.
I think there's 2.5 NBA players there. Like if you add them up, if you stack them up, you got 2.5 NBA players.
What am I getting from DeAndre Jordan? Like a tenth of an NBA player at this point? What am I getting? Oh my god! So do I have of the 4 guys I named? Do I have
by
2
Frank Vogel in 2021? What
of
am I
the
getting
4
from
guys I
DeAndre
just named? Do
Jordan?
I have 2.6 NBA players? Like I was 2.5, and then DeAndre Jordan is a
He might
tenth of
subtract a
one.
little bit. Like he might,
Oh,
but
poor
yeah,
DeAndre.
I
Go get your ring, DeAndre. He got one. He got one last year. Good for DeAndre.
I think
And Thomas
Denver,
Bryant, by the way.
they're worse than last year. I think clearly worse than last year. They missed Bruce Brown.
Yeah, probably. And Uncle Jeffy has been a loss for them too.
A little bit more, far less than Brown, but yeah,
Yes.
a little bit.
Yes.
And so yeah, I would still take Denver in a series. I would still probably bet Denver in the series, but
Against whom?
against
The
the Lakers.
Lakers?
Yeah.
Denver. You should take Denver in a series against anyone.
Oh, sure. Yeah. The only team I care about is the Lakers.
Yes.
Like that's the only
The
team
Lakers
that
the Lakers can get
right
as
up
far
there.
as until Denver. If somebody else beats Denver, the Lakers can win the whole thing. The Lakers can get as far. Oh, Sacramento makes me nervous for reason. Although less so with Malik
Without
Monk
Monk.
on. Yeah,
Mhm.
less so. But yeah, I don't. Denver's
Yeah.
scary.
That starting 5 that they have, if they are intact, I'm taking them against anybody, including Boston,
Agreed.
including, anybody.
Agreed.
Like in the world. You could put
The worst part is we're all gonna have, if that's the finals, and I expect it will be the finals, we're all gonna have to root for Denver, and that is unsavory.
against
The
Boston.
Celtics? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie. I put a couple $100 down on the Nuggets to win it all at like 5-1.
You
So
got 5. Oh, okay. All right.
I'd be
That's a
pretty
lot of
stoked.
that's a lot of donuts for Avery. It's a lot of donuts for Avery.
But like, look, if that said, like, if the Lakers were able to upset them, I'd be happy losing that couple $100
Yeah, of course.
because it means that the Lakers probably win the championship. Like at that point, I think they
Sounds good.
I,
I'm with
I
it.
actually think the Lakers there's probably some value to bet on the Lakers to win a
Yeah,
championship.
I don't know what they are, and I don't know what they are presently, but yes.
I haven't looked on reputable books.
You look at just
Not the one I use.
unreputable, irreputable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the opposite is there, but
I actually share a bookie with Jonte. But yeah,
did he let you know?
And Shohei's translator.
Did either of them let you know so you could bet on the under for Jonte's? That's
Yeah, we're on that
wild.
text
That's
chain.
such a weird story.
Group text is but
right.
no, Isaac is asking what seed do you see the Lakers in? Let's just really quickly go
6
through the
/
machinations
7?
here. I don't know. I don't see 6. It's technically in play.
Yeah,
the
sure.
Lakers
Yeah.
are 3
Mathematically.
losses back of the Dallas Mavericks, so you technically could climb up into the 6th spot. But I think it's far more likely you're looking at either 7 or 8. You need the Kings to
more
lose
likely.
again.
More likely is 9 or 10, but 8 is in play. I don't know that even 7 is really in play, but 8 is in play. Most likely is 9, 10.
But that's why, in yesterday's show, I talked to Harrison about like, what are your expectations going into these final 5?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, baseline expectation for me is 4-1. I'm, expecting them to go 4-1 here. I like, in order to basically hammer home that what I think that they're capable of, they have to go 4-1. And
did you game it out like each game so that did you say which one was the one loss?
Or just I think they lose one of the afternoon games. I just don't like. They
I
play
think
two
it's
afternoon games,
Cleveland. Yeah, it's Cleveland Saturday.
and then the last game of the season against New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I think one of those two afternoon games they wind up getting caught. But Harrison's expectations are win all of them, go out, do your thing.
Okay.
And you know what? Like in terms of like the actual message that that I know the Lakers are following, right? Internally, their focus basically this second half of the season has been getting to the sixth spot.
Yes.
Christian Wood has talked about it. The
Yes.
the guys themselves have voiced it, and I know internally that has been very much their focus. Even
That's
as
correct.
LeBron and AD say like we don't care about seeding, all that stuff, their focus has been getting out of the play-in.
Yes.
And rightly so. Like that's the point. I think more so than I think people are kind of taking what LeBron and AD are saying incorrectly, right? When they say we don't care about seeding, they're saying basically like there isn't as much kind of umph behind the way that they're playing. But I actually think what they mean is like we don't care what seed we wind up in. That's the situation we have to play in regardless. But what we are going to have to do is play our best basketball. Like whatever seed that we get to, whatever, like that's the spot that we're going to find ourselves in. But the top priority is getting to and staying at our absolute best when it comes to the caliber of basketball that we're playing. And that I think is inarguable. I think that's the
So
right approach.
I agree with you, and you'll hear that from a lot of teams, especially ones that have been through this before, right? Steph has said something similar, and that is basically the thrust of it is if we're playing well, we can beat anyone, and if we're not playing well, none of this matters, right? Like it
Yep.
does, like none of it matters. Like what seed we get to, whatever. If the Lakers are not, and LeBron is a super computer. He's in addition to all of his physical gifts that he's had forever. He's probably the smartest. He has the highest basketball IQ of anyone that's ever played, in my opinion. And so LeBron knows all of this. And so LeBron is pretty good at kind of surveying the landscape and
Hmm.
seeing what it is. And and LeBron hasn't voiced this specifically like Steph did, but like if the Lakers are not playing up to the standard that LeBron is expecting and that the Lakers are expecting, it doesn't matter the seed. And if the Lakers are playing to their standard, then the Lakers have a shot against anybody except Denver, in my opinion. But the Lakers
Yeah.
have a shot against anybody.
Yeah.
Um, and this was an interesting thing. So Zach Lowe said this last year in talking about the Lakers, and the Lakers ended up making the Western Conference Finals. And about the Lakers having a puncher's chance against anybody because you have LeBron and AD. And yeah, the Lakers have a puncher's chance against anybody. The same is true this year. Although I think this Lakers team is better than last year's Lakers team, even if the seeding doesn't
You need
reflect that.
you need Vando to be better. Like you need Vando to be healthy.
Yes, that is true. But Zach had made an interesting point, which is yes, the Lakers have a puncher's chance against anybody, but that's not what the Lakers are playing for. And having a puncher's chance 4 different times is what is concerning. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think other than Denver, I think the Lakers have a chance against anybody. If the Lakers are playing well, great. If not, to Steph's point about the Warriors, like none of this matters.
Can I ask you a tough question
Please,
before we get you out of here?
please.
The Lakers, again, at the deadline, kind of looked like, Vando had just kind of gotten hurt, and the Lakers were pretty mediocre at the time. And,
Mm-hmm.
essentially looked at the landscape and said they want to keep their powder dry for this upcoming offseason because of the type of basketball that the Lakers had played to that point.
Can I make one like slight distinction? Maybe it's a
Yeah.
distinction without a difference. But it wasn't the Lakers want to keep their powder dry for anything specific. It was viewing the landscape of what was available and didn't like the options.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of goes without saying, but
Well, I'm
I do
saying that
think,
maybe it's a distinction without a difference, but yes.
well, that's kind of the question that I'm asking, though,
Okay. All right.
is do you think now knowing the type of basketball that the Lakers are capable of playing when they play their best players, do you think that they would have had a lower bar for
Mm.
what they quote unquote like at the time compared to like, how
Yeah.
they
So
saw it then?
yeah. So interesting. So I think that I mean, look, part of this is wrapped up in coaching, right? And playing your best lineups. And part of it
Mhm.
is wrapped up in the players. Like, are like who's actually like really playing well. So this is all kind of, it's difficult to divorce all of these things from each other. But yes, I think if the Lakers had gotten to this point, whatever the last 6 weeks or so earlier in the
Earlier.
year, and we
Mhm.
had seen the same results that we have seen now. And to be fair, the schedule's been pretty easy. However, you can only play the teams that are in front of you, right? You can only play the teams
They
on the
made
schedule
easy games look pretty difficult earlier this year.
at times, and they made some easy games look difficult in the last day. That's
What's stupid is that they also made some difficult games look pretty easy. They beat the shit out of OKC for some
well, yeah.
reason
And
on the
by the
road
way, beat Milwaukee twice without LeBron.
without LeBron.
Yeah. And beat one in Boston. I think it was like Boston's third
Without
loss of the
LeBron
season
and
without both.
AD.
Yeah, right. Um, so I don't think it would have made a difference in a like big macro sense, but I do think that it is possible that Rob had Rob would have decided to maybe do a little bit more on the margins if we had seen this team that we see now, whatever, 3, 4, 5 weeks earlier. Yeah, I do think it's possible we would have seen something on the margins. I don't think anything big would have changed, but I do think it's possible we would have seen a difference on the margins.
That's painful.
Thank you for having me on.
But no, that's kind of the thing that was keeping me up last night was like, man, this team is like really
Anthony, you need to do something else. What are you keeping you?
It's a
You were
sickness.
thinking about permutations of the Lakers trade deadline based on whether the best lineup was settled on now versus a couple weeks ago, and it
Yeah,
kept you up. You have a beautiful family.
yeah, they were all asleep.
Okay, all right.
So
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm a junkie also, so fair enough.
well, it's the only way to be successful in this industry is my thing. Like
Yeah.
if you the people who like build cool stuff in this industry are just like you said, junkies.
Yeah, we're
We
junkies.
just there's
We're
no other way. There's no two
yes,
ways about it.
we're
I had a fun
we are
conversation
sick.
with Ethan Strauss right when I got laid
Sherwood.
off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For Substack, and the crux of the conversation was like, I could go and try to do something. I come from PR. I have skills to do other things. I'm a good
We can't.
salesperson, but I can't.
We
Like
can't.
I'm not wired. I am not able to do it. The
There's
last time I
nothing
had a
else.
9 to 5 job was at a place called HireRight. It was a background screening company, and I had a
That sounds
dream.
miserable already.
No, I'm telling you, I had a dream. I will never, ever, ever forget this dream. That
Okay.
I was at my cubicle. I had a cubicle there, and a like shooter walked into our building, and I got shot, and I felt it, and I felt myself like withering
Oh, you
away.
mean like an active shooter? Like,
Yeah,
yeah. All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like I'll never forget this dream, and I had that dream, and it really messed with my brain, and I basically told Jen, I was like, I think that is my kind of subconscious telling me I'm dying at that job. I need to quit doing, and I quit doing that job,
Good for
and
you. Good
I
for you.
pursued doing this. And
And
my
here we
very
are.
first check in trying to do this was for
Is that a
$23.86
boy? Hey.
from Rant Sports, a now defunct and bankrupt website.
Hey, look, slow motion better than no motion, brother.
And here we are, like a decade later. But yeah, we are junkies. When
Yeah.
I'm up late at night and I'm thinking about these things, it's because I cannot think of anything else. So anyway, all of that is actually to say, and Aaron, we're gonna have to let you go here. You've run out of time, but before you go and before everybody else goes here, it was a nightmare, Hunter. It was definitely a nightmare. But all of that is to say that a whole bunch of people who were wired just like me were just laid off by Vox. My former boss, Michael Kist, my
Again?
former the remainder of my team,
Oh,
at my former audio team, Jas Kang, Steven Serta, Rachel Prevet, super duper talented people who are incredibly passionate about this and incredibly good at what they do. And my message to those people now standing on the other side of this is we aren't wired to do anything else. And you're going to find a way to figure this out. And
yeah.
this goes beyond these people. We're living in a tough time where all the time we're seeing layoffs throughout all kinds of industries. And I had somebody tell me today that they are still trying to get back onto their feet after being laid off last year. And I'm here to say that if I can figure this out, if I can, come out on the other side of this with some pretty cool opportunities here, in the immediate future, then you can too. So kissed. And this goes to, my former boss's boss, whether it's Bop, who landed on his feet, Kist will. I think Kist should get picked up by the Ringer. He used to do a show with Ben Solak anyway, and there was a really good show about the NFL. But yeah, to those people who are fighting, scratching, and clawing, whether it's in my industry or any others, if you're listening right now, keep fighting, scratching, clawing, because coming out on the other end in something that you're passionate about,
It's beautiful.
there are very, very, very few better feelings in your career that you could possibly experience. So that is going to do it here for this episode of the Lakers Lounge. A little shorter one this time. To make it up for you, I'm gonna try to do a happy hour tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll take your questions and try to bring some people up on the stage if you are a lounge VIP. So until then, and until the next time you guys hear from me, I'm Anthony Irwin. That was Aaron Larsoul. This has been the Lakers Lounge. Have a good one, everybody.